We are doing the Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 1 current gun tier list. Um, I think this is a good send off to Season 1, the kickoff to Chapter 4. Some pretty good guns in this season. Um, what are your thoughts, just initially and generally, Justin, on the guns compared to last season?
I liked some of the guns. Some of them were very annoying to go up against, like the Excalibur.
Right, right. But how do you
And
think, without getting specific, how do you think it goes up against the guns that were in last chapter?
I think it goes well.
Yeah,
The weapons were really good.
I agree. I think that there's a lot of different ways that you can use the guns. Like in chapter 3, specifically the last season, you either ran the prime shotgun or the Evo shotgun, and then the hammer. And that's pretty much what you had to run. You weren't running SMGs, um, and you had to have those two shotguns. The other shotguns were just, pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Um, so I think there's a really good variety, and you can get by with a lot of the guns um, in this chapter. So let's kick it off with the first gun. It's actually really recently been put into season 1, and that is, let me just do that, the 6 shooter. So we've only had it for a couple of weeks, not even like a week, right?
Yeah. It just got unvaulted.
Yeah. So honestly, my opinions of it are it has very poor long range damage, and it up close, you have to be able to sniff the deodorant these guys put on 3 days ago and able in order to use this gun on someone. Like if you're 10 feet away, a couple meters away from them in game, you're hitting half the shots. And there's only 6 bullets in the chamber, per the name, obviously. So you're
Yeah.
running out after 6 shots, even though it shoots really quick. So it's like bing, 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 bing. Oh, I got to reload already. The reload time is pretty long. And out on top of that, if you're running it as your SMG gun, it kind of does this stupid little like flip thing before it starts firing.
The
So
pull
it
out
it
animation.
it yeah, it takes longer to pull it out. And in the middle of a fight where you need to switch to your SMG real quick, that makes the difference. That gives them an extra shotgun shot on you if that's what they're doing. So my opinion is very low on this gun. What are your thoughts, Justin?
I mean, I like to look at the fun aspect of weapons. I think it's kind of a fun weapon because
Hmm.
I think it looks kind of cool. Not to mention if you put the augment the pistol augment on it, you get 9 shots instead of 6. So that kind of adds to it.
That does increase its value for sure.
I
There is a lot of pistol augments in the game that could increase it. So I think given the, do you have any other input on it?
Another thing is, I don't think this is supposed to be like an SMG. This is a gun you're supposed to pull out if you're literally right next to someone.
Yeah, but when in today's game, I don't think there's space in your inventory for that. I don't think
Yeah,
there's a time and place to use it. I
it,
don't think it should be in your loadout at all, unless it's the first gun you pick up.
yeah,
Yeah. So I think I was leaning towards an F, but I think with the addition of the augments, and there's so many augments that benefit pistols, I was thinking a D rating. What about you?
yeah. I was thinking a D, maybe a C, but D is
Okay.
probably fitting.
All right. Well, let's go with D. Um, yeah. So 6 shooter, D rating. Moving on, we have the burst assault rifle. This was added, what, mid-season, right, Justin? It didn't come out.
Yeah,
It was added in the middle of the season. Um, I it's a decent gun. I will say that. If we're comparing it to like looking at the other ARs in the game that we're gonna go over later, It's not my favorite. If honestly, it's probably my least favorite AR.
Yeah,
Um, well, no, I think I like it more than the Scar because of the accuracy. But compared to the other ones that we're going to go over, it's probably, next to the Scar in usefulness. It has pretty good accuracy and you can do quite a bit of damage with it, but I feel like if you're not standing still, it's really difficult to hit the shots. You have to be like right on the people the whole time. And a lot of
yeah.
times it's a burst, yeah, but a lot of times you only get one of those bullets to connect. You don't get both of them unless you're at a medium range. So it's not my favorite. In a pinch, I'll use it. Um, but compared to some of the other ARs, I'm not going with it. What are your thoughts?
I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest. I really don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm I I'm starting to like the Scar more than I like this weapon. If I'm being honest.
Hmm. What about it don't you like?
I don't know. It's just it's a slow firing weapon. I know that's the point. It's sacrificing speed for accuracy, I guess.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it's a medium ranged weapon, you might as well just pick the Scar.
Yeah, yeah. And on top of that, it's 20 bullets, 10 shots. 10
Yeah.
shots is nothing. I remember they had talked about adding or making letting it hold more bullets so you could do a couple more shots, but just 20 bullets, so 10 shots, that's rough. It's really, really not good. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm thinking a C. I like it more in the six shooter for sure, but I wouldn't put it any higher. What do you think?
Uh, Probably a hard C. Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Okay. No problem. Okay, next gun I really, really like. We're going to talk about the combat shotgun. So the only way you can get this gun is via the tactical armory augment. So it's not guaranteed, but the shotgun is so good. It is essentially an auto shotgun with 8 shots, um, and the spread. It doesn't have a huge spread, is the thing. So you got to be, pretty accurate with it, but it shoots so fast, and it's like boom, 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 boom. It is so quick, and
Mhm.
it can do some pretty decent damage long range. So I'm a big favor or a big fan of running it in my loadout. Um, and yeah, like if I'm my only issue with it, if I'm seeing it on the ground and I don't have to use an augment, absolutely I'm going for it. But if I have to use one of my 4 augments for it, I'm a little bit, iffy about going for that. But if you don't have a good weapon choice at the start of the game, it's a great way to have an edge on some of those early fights. What are you thinking?
Yeah. I like it. It's fast. It's accurate.
Hmm.
It's, the thing I can see why they definitely nerfed the damage.
Right. Yeah.
Because imagine hitting 100 at that speed.
Yeah, for sure. It was pretty killer, but still, even now, it's really good. You could just repeatedly just
Yeah.
hammer those people with the shots because it's so quick. It's an auto shotgun. It's great. So I'm thinking A, maybe B, because you have to use an augment for it. What are you thinking?
Yeah, B sounds good.
You want to go B, not A?
Yeah. Yeah, B. I think
Okay.
B would be fair.
All right, we'll go B on that one. Uh, B for the combat shotgun. Moving on, we have the DMR. This gun has been in the game since I've been playing Fortnite, which isn't that long, but it's multiple seasons, a new chapter, and they brought it back. If you remember back to chapter 3, they took it away and they brought in the Cobra DMR, which I loved. I loved the Cobra DMR. It was so quick. You had like extra bullets. It was awesome. But when we moved into chapter 4, they reverted back to the regular DMR. Um, and for me, it's looking at the other ARs in the game, it's just not going to do it for me. The fact that the bullets take so long to travel to their target, you have to lead your shots so far in advance. It's crazy. And on top of that, you only get 10 bullets. So you have to reload pretty consistently. It shoots very slow. Um, Granted, I will give it the damage that you deal with it is pretty killer. If you get two headshots with a DMR, they're hurting. They're gonna
Literally,
have they're gonna have to
if
step
you
away and heal up, so it gives you the opportunity to push them.
if you hit someone once with this weapon, their overshield is gone.
Exactly. Yeah, you're dealing permanent damage immediately. So that's the upside to it. Um, in a pinch, it's actually done okay for me. Like off the rift when you like land and you're in some, you know, hot drop locations. It does okay when you're not ADSing with it, like just hip firing it. It's pretty accurate and you can get out of some pretty tricky situations. Um, so it has its uses, but the moment I see a red eye assault rifle, I'm kicking this thing to the curb. Yeah.
Yeah, that yeah,
So
I even if there even if it was a choice, I wouldn't even pick it up. I don't like it.
right. Well, I think I would go C with it, simply because of the damage.
Yeah. You really think it's better than a six shooter though?
Yes. Are you kidding me? Justin, the six shooter does
All right.
19 damage long range. Horrible. It's definitely
So,
better than the six shooter. It's not as good as the burst, excuse me, but definitely better than the six shooter. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I like it. It's fun. It's annoying when someone's just constantly spamming it against you though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it having the explosive damage is a big upside to it, and like Justin said, it is so annoying. Like if you're in the final circle and you both like, let's say it's a 2v2 and they're just launching these things at you, it is so frustrating to, try and avoid the splash damage of the explosion.
One
And
shot, your overshield will be gone,
yeah.
and not to mention you're gonna.
So in my opinion, I'm looking at another C tier gun. What are
Yeah,
you thinking?
yeah. C sounds about right.
Better than the DMR? I would say
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Better than the burst? Looking now at what is it? The explosive mechanical bow. Um,
I
I,
I never see anyone run this thing.
yeah, no one runs it. I think when you have to get it from the augment, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you have to get the mechanical archery augment, which gives you the shockwave bow and the explosive bow. Um, no one's running two bows, so
In the
most
in the
people go with the shockwave, and then they just drop the explosive.
in the
Um,
current meta, this thing just does not fit.
yeah, it just doesn't really have a specific use right now. Like maybe in build, but
There's so much cover that the explosives don't do near as much damage as you need them to do.
yeah, and the shockwave bow is much better than it in that regard because it can knock the people out of those cover situations, and then you can switch to your AR and really lay into them afterwards. And
Yeah,
so it's really just a one. I think we're gonna go D tier with it.
yeah.
It's not quite an F because it does a good amount of damage, but just not gonna use it. So I'm going D tier. Um, and then we'll look. I'm gonna say, and we could keep it pretty short on this one. It's very similar with the flame bow. The flame bow might be a little bit more useful because it can light cover on fire. There's a lot of wooden buildings in this chapter, so it can burn down a lot of cover, especially if you're, counting on getting your opponents out in the open in those final circles. Um,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna move it just now. We're going to look at the heavy shotgun. You have no
we
input.
really need to talk with this.
It's going into I made this tier specifically for this gun. Satan himself decided to put this gun in the game. I don't see a single gun more on the ground than I see the heavy shotgun. And I'm going to say shotgun with quotation marks because a shotgun is a spread weapon. This
Yep.
thing has its boom, it is direct at someone. Why would I ever decide to run this gun? Epic, please explain why you put this in the game. Who
I,
designed this? Why did you hire them? Come on,
after
bro. They deserve to be
after
banished.
after
Banished.
After this season, I really don't see it coming back anytime soon.
Yeah, like what? Who in their right mind thought, let's think of another shotgun, a spread weapon, and then take away the spread? That sounds like a great idea. I
Okay,
don't
well,
care how much damage it does. It doesn't matter because you miss 99% of the shots that you take with it. Horrible. And you don't
little his.
even have the
Sorry.
option to get spread with it, like by not ADSing. It's always like, so the next one is the infantry rifle, another new gun that was just added in for the last couple weeks of Chapter 4 Season 1. I've had the chance to play around with it a bit. I did a little TikTok on it, in my opinion about it, and it's a decent gun. You know, it's a good gun to have in your inventory. If you have decent aim, for sure. If you're still working on fine tuning your aim, I don't think it's the gun for you because we're looking at only 8 bullets that require, and there's no scope, so you got to have really good accuracy with your little pinpoint in the center. Um, but when it hits, it hits. If you're getting headshots, the other team
With 60
is feeling
damage.
it. Yeah, and if you pair it with first assault, like
Mm.
that's it's tough. I think it does like over 100 damage with a headshot if you're running first assault. Um,
Let's talk about the most important part.
yeah. Our personal favorite part about the gun is the reload sound. You get that
Mm.
cha-ching. It is.
Well, I think we should stick it in S simply for the reload.
I disagree. I was thinking A or B.
A
We'll go
sounds good.
we'll go A because of looking now at the machine SMG. Right off the bat, I've gone back and forth with the SMG, the two main SMGs in this game, but I've settled that I much prefer the machine SMG. The
Really?
reason being, it has 33 bullets in the mag. Like that is so long. You can just hold, spray and pray with this thing, and it goes for a while. 33 bullets is like it's almost both reloads of the dual mag, 33 versus 40. So, and the damage is really good on it. The accuracy is great. It's almost always in my loadout. Like no, there's very few times where I change it out for something else. I'm thinking a high B for the machine. I'm gonna
Yeah.
put it before the combat shotgun.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Looking now at the Maven auto shotgun. Why don't you lead us off on this one?
I like it. It's auto. I like auto shotguns. It can do a
Hmm.
good. It can do a really. It can do a lot of damage if you hit your shots.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
I think you really have to rely on hitting headshots with this gun though, because if you're hitting, body shots or leg shots with it, because the opponent's got great movement, you're only dealing 30 to 40 damage, which isn't gonna cut it. Um, so if you're able to consistently hit those headshots with it, I'm a big fan of the Maven. I wish it had 8 shots rather than 6. I've
6 is a very weird number.
Yeah, if you're fighting, let's say, duos like Justin and I do regularly, 6 bullets is not enough to take out the two people. It's just not. Um, Especially if you can't hit those headshots, you end up running out of ammo and having to reload, which has screwed me over on multiple times. And maybe some people could say skilly. So what are we thinking, B or A?
Yeah. B
I
sounds good.
like it less than the combat shotgun. If I see both, I'm taking the combat.
Okay, that's understandable.
Yeah. All right, so now we're looking at the red dot. Um, this is
Yes.
the flagship gun of Chapter 4 Season 1. Immediately, everyone knew you need to have this gun in your inventory at all times. There are very few times where you're going to use a different AR. Even having a gray one is essential for hitting those long range shots. It's hit scan. It's got a very large amount of shots that you can just keep laying into them. It shoots. relatively quickly. Um, and of course, the accuracy's dead on. It's hit scan. You click on the opponent and you hit them. The
And the
damage is great. Um, you can, if you're, testing out the damage with one clip, you can do, 700 damage if you're just if you don't miss a shot. It's crazy. Um, as Justin already said, we're moving it to S. It is the first S tier on the list.
not to mention the recoil, it's
It's
pretty good.
pretty much non-existent. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can really nail the positioning with your mouse, like after a shot, it's really just an awesome gun. Most fights are shootouts between these two guns, and whoever has the best accuracy wins.
Yeah. Or
So next we have the RPG, the rocket launcher.
I'm gonna be honest, I probably never fired this weapon this entire season.
Really, that's
Yeah.
funny. I've used it a few times. I'm a known, you know, call me Marilyn Manson. I blow myself often. Um, it happens, but it's
Uh,
it's a game changing gun, or it's a situation changing gun. If you're, you know, a 1v2, this can really turn the tide, and you can, take those
got
fights with an
got the high
RPG.
got the high ground. Well, you've basically won.
Yeah, you do over 100 damage to anyone within the area of explosion. Um, and it's a good weapon. And it's been in the game since basically the very beginning, right? Having an
Yeah,
RPG.
yeah. It's been in chapter. It's been in every single chapter.
Yeah, and they always bring it back. So I'm gonna put it in the A. Um, I'm gonna say below. No, we'll put it above the infantry.
Yeah.
It's a great gun. So I respect anyone who can run it. Let's now look at the Scar. What are your thoughts on the Scar, Justin?
I think it's better than the burst, but not too much better.
Really? Is
Yes.
that all you have to say?
Well, the thing is, when you first got in the when the game first started, like Fortnite, if you got a scar, it was basically, hey, you win. This thing used
Right.
to do 90 damage with a headshot.
hmm
But now that we've had weapons that have,
But the bloom on it is just unreal. It is so wide. Your thing is like right on them, perfect pinpoint, and the bullets are like 10 feet to the left of them. You're just like, what? And
uh,
it takes so long to get that first shot accuracy. You have to like just stop and wait. And I question anyone who runs it. It makes sense if you're on console because you do get the aim assist, and I've been shredded by console players with it at medium to close range. Um,
like
but
like
it,
we said about the burst, it's a medium range weapon, but I think this is better than the burst because it's automatic.
uh, yeah, I think for overall, I think it might be better than the burst, but it's really, really close. I'll put it
Yeah.
above it, but I could go either way. If I'm so, next gun we have is oh, I'm gonna move this over and we'll do that one last. Is the Shockwave bow. Um, it's been really useful. If you don't have a hammer and you can get the mechanical archer augment, boom, you have your movement.
Not to
Um,
mention with the bow specialist
yeah,
augment,
yeah, with the bow specialist augment where you basically have infinite arrows, it
you
you,
reload a lot faster too.
yeah, you're a force to be reckoned with. And when I see the people flying across the map with soaring sprints, it's pretty scary, and they can
Yeah.
knock you out of cover at any time. I probably should have run it more than I did. I know I passed up on it multiple times, and then but I'm willing to put it up in A um, after the infantry and the RPG
Yeah, that sounds fair.
because it's super useful. The next one is the stink bow. We'll be quick on this one. I think it's the worst bow,
Yeah,
personally.
I'd say an F.
F tier with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. You're right. It's just not useful. If anyone runs this, I think I have no idea why. All right, moving on, we have the pistol. This
Ooh.
is probably was the dark horse gun going into the season. No one expected it to take the meta by storm like it did. Um,
An
it
accuracy based gun.
it's yeah, and it's automatic basically. It's got so many uses. It has really good aim. Um, like if even if you want to run it long range, you can do it. And the amount the so I would put it in probably the top of the A tier.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
All right, moving on, we have the Thunder shotgun. What are your thoughts on the Thunder, Justin?
You need an S. It's the slowest pump in the game. It's a one shot weapon. If you miss that shot, you're probably gonna die.
Yeah, very true. But if you even hit a body shot with the Thunder shotgun and you have an SMG, you're crushing that person. Like
Yeah,
if you instantly switch to your SMG, they're dead. You're doing over 100 damage with a body shot. Like it's crazy. And the range on it is surprisingly great, especially if you ADS with it. It's like
yeah.
you can still do 100 damage from many meters away. It's shocking how hard it hits.
Well,
There's
they call it
nothing.
a thunder for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. You only have 4 shots with it, and they take 2 bullets each, but they're killer shots. The amount of times I've been killed, and I look down and it says Gold Thunder Shotgun, legendary. It's demoralizing.
Yeah, the pistol and the thunder. That's probably what most people go for.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a great. If you're running Mythic Pistol with Pistol Amp and a Thunder Shotgun, you're a force to be reckoned with. I'm gonna put it
Yeah,
at the top of the A. I like it more than the pistol, personally.
really.
Yeah. Mm,
I'm gonna be honest. I like the Maven more than this weapon, but
oh, well, you're insane. I like the Maven a lot. I think they're, in actuality, the 3 shotguns are really close. But looking at the other guns we have in the A tier, I'm taking the Thunder Shotgun over them.
all right, that's fair, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Next is the Twin Mag SMG. We talked about it a bit earlier. Um, I've done a lot of testing with both. I've gone back and forth and using each of them for a couple weeks at a time. And my conclusion for the last couple weeks is the machine is better. Um, I like. I think they are pretty similar in terms of range and accuracy, but the fact of the matter to me is I like the longer mag rather than having the second one. Even though if you pair it with um, light fingers, it's almost instant, but you still have that, half a second of downtime when you're reloading.
Yeah,
So personally, I go with the machine. So I would think bottom of the B tier is what I would go with.
yeah, that's
Same category as the machine, just behind it with the shotguns.
yeah, yeah. That's
All
yeah.
right.
I guess
Okay.
yeah.
Um, so the last gun is part of the tactical armory augment. It is the tactical assault rifle. It takes mini ammo, has a pinpoint accuracy. Overall, this was my favorite gun for the longest time. When I would get tactical armory, I was excited. Um, it was so much fun to use. It is so much fun to use. It it can at that medium to long range, it does so much damage. It doesn't quite have that super long range. In fact, it's a little wimpy at super long range compared to the red
14
dot.
damage at long range.
Yeah, but I like the fact that it takes mini ammo. I think that's
Yes,
a huge plus side to it. You have so much more mini ammo than AR ammo. It's a massive upside to it in my opinion. And
I'm still
I've won many games because of this gun. Like When you pull it out at that medium range, if they don't have cover, they're gone. Like it's
Yeah.
over. It does not take much skill to hurt someone with this gun.
This is this chapter's MK7.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a great gun. I love
Dare I
running it.
say better than MK7 because it takes light ammo.
Right. Yeah. So I would put it in A below the pistol and the shotgun, um, unless you have another preference.
Nah, that seems fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And
there you have it.
hammer is just S tier. No, no, nothing about that.
Well, I didn't. This is a gun tier list. I granted the bows as an exception because they're projectile. Um, but yes, the hammer would be S tier. Um, but yeah, there you have it. Our opinions on the Chapter 4, Season 1 guns. Let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear everyone's opinion. Okay, well, hey, thank you for watching. If you watched all the way through, thank you. Like I said, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear anyone's opinion on it. Um, these are a lot of fun to do. If you enjoyed it, like it, follow. Let us know if you want to see us do another one. I'd like to do another tier list when the new guns come out for next season, just a couple days away. So yeah, I'm gonna